Alrighty, Pickle, one last thing to do today, because it's rankings time.
Ranking season.
This is when we unveil the Week 5 Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Associated Press Texas High School Football State Rankings. We have had the state's most respected Texas high school football rankings for years, and we have been the official rankings provider of the Associated Press since 2019. This is the exclusive place where you can find the official Texas high school football state rankings. Let's start with Class 6A, the largest classification in the Lone Star State, which is where you will find a variety of changes, most notably there at the bottom. The top 9 of the rankings are unchanged, but then there's a little bit of movement. Specifically, number 10 Denton Geyer drops out with their loss to Prosper. That moves everybody up, including now top 10 North Crowley. How about that? Big game. They got a big win over Fort Worth Pascal, 4-0, rolling. Humble Summer Creek up a spot. Cibolo Steel up a spot as well. A few other teams moving up, but we do have a few other teams that dropped out. Number 18 Fort Bend Hightower drops out, as does number 20 Midland Legacy with their lopsided losses. And moving back into the rankings, rather, the Rockwall Yellow Jackets back into the rankings there at number 23. They've got a big win over South Grand Prairie. Prosper, after a 1 week absence in the rankings, are back into the rankings at number 24. And Dripping Springs into the rankings at number 25. They improved to 2-1 with a win over Austin High. To 5A we go, Pickle. 5A, Division I, boring. Every team either won or was idle. No changes, no notes, great work. Top 3 remains unchanged: Aledo, Longview, and Mansfield Timberview. Good job, guys. Keep behaving. 5A Division II is interesting because the top 7 were all winners or idle, and so they remain exactly the same. Melissa, Fort Bend, Marshall, Frisco, Emerson, Montgomery, Lake Creek, and Midlothian Heritage are your top 5. But then, complete calamity at the bottom. Number 8, Liberty Hill is out after their kind of shocking loss to Leander Rouse. Number 9, Wichita Falls Rider is out with their kind of lopsided loss to Lubbock Cooper. And number 10, Gregory Portland is out with their kind of lopsided loss to Bernie. In their place, after a 1 week absence, South Oak Cliff is back into the rankings after a throttling of Dallas Parish Episcopal. They're back in at number 8. Lovejoy rejoins the rankings with a really nice bounce-back win over Terrell. And new to the rankings, for the first time, the 4-0 Belton Tigers are state-ranked at number 10, joining the rankings after getting a nice win over San Angelo Central, your 5A Division II rankings. To 4A we go. 4A did a little bit of shuffling. Salina's win over Anna caused us to make some moves. China Spring nudges back up to number 2. Bernie, nice win over Gregory Portland. They are now up to number 3. Salina up to number 4, and right behind them is Anna. They're dropping from number 2 to number 5. Kilgore up a spot to number 6. Brownwood up a spot to number 7. Lubbock Estacado, unbeaten, up a spot to number 8. Number 7, Kilgore, crashes out of the rankings, as does number 10, Kaufman. But in their place, how about the state-ranked Iowa Colony Pioneers? 4-0, big winners over West Columbia. State-ranked for the first time, I believe, in program history there at number 9. And Lavernia jumps into the rankings at 4-0 with a win over Geronimo Navarro. They join the rankings there at number 10. 4A Division II we go, where there's a little bit of movement, but specifically down at the bottom. The top 7 are all unchanged. Top 3 are Carthage, Silsbee, and Pleasant Grove, all big winners. One thing about Cuero, we are marking that as a win for Cuero. Here's the issue there. Cuero and Corpus Christi Cal Allen played to halftime before storms interrupted it. Cuero was up 22-14. There is a dispute between Cuero and Cal Allen as to whether or not this game is a no contest or not. When there is a dispute, this is the official stance of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, when coaches cannot agree, if the game reaches halftime, we go with the scoreboard. That's what we do here. Cuero gets the win. They are now 4-0. If the game had not made halftime, it would be a no contest. That is our stance here overall. So Cuero gets the win over Cal Allen. They are number 4. Wimberley rounds out the top 5. Number 9, Waco Connolly crashes, or number 7 rather, Waco Connolly crashes out of the ranking. Hampshire Finette nudges up a spot to number 7. Graham nudges up a spot to number 8 with a win over Iowa Park. Gilmer nudges up a spot to number 9. And into the rankings for the first time this year, the Madisonville Mustangs, a big winner over Caldwell, 63-0, to move to 4-0. To 3A we go. 3A Division 1, we did a little bit of shuffling because of Brock's loss to Gunner. As a result, they tumbled from number 3 to number 10. We're still believers in Brock. Think that they are one of the top 10 teams, but right now the resume isn't there. They will hang on to the spot in the rankings at number 10. As a result, everybody else nudges up a spot. Malakoff now up to number 3, Hitchcock up to number 4, Winsboro up to number 5, etc. Those are the only change there is Brock dropping to number 10. 3A Division 2, there's your headline. A new number 1 in 3A Division 2. The Gunner Tigers are your new number 1 team in 3A Division 2 after a resounding 35-12 win over Gunner. Canadian hadn't done anything wrong. They're still 4-0, but the resume for Gunner is too overwhelming to ignore. They get the number 1 spot. 2 teams crash out of the rankings. Number 7, Comanche, with their loss to Toller, crashes out, and number 8, Dangerfield, is out of the rankings. Troop and Poth nudge up to number 7 and 8, respectively, as the spots open up. And new to the rankings, number 9, Bells. Big winners this week over Pilot Point. They are up to number 9 into the rankings for the first time. Holiday rejoins the rankings with a 24-14 win over Childers. They are 3-1. To 2A we go. 2A Division 1. Got to do a little bit of surgery here. It's the same 10 teams, but we had to do some moving around. Toller's big win over Comanche vaults them back up to number 3, where I think they were last week before they lost to Dallas Christian. So, I don't know. It all kind of evens out. Cooper, big win over Collinsville. They nudge up 2 spots, as does Stratford, their win over Vega. Centerville loses to Mart. That drops them from number 3 to number 6. Hawley also loses. They lose to Albany. They drop from number 4 to number 7. Beckville remains the same at number 8. But Sonora and Crawford swap spots. Crawford was idle, but Sonora, now at 4-0, their resume is awfully impressive. They jump up to number 9, leapfrogging Crawford. 2A Division 2 now. There's only 2 real changes. Chilton and Collinsville swap places. They were number 4 and number 6. Collinsville's number 4, Chilton's number 6. Chilton gets a nice win over Hearn. That vaults them over to number 4. Collinsville loses to Cooper. That drops them from number 4 to number 6. Wellington had a weird game with Spearman, which didn't, in our opinion, warrant them moving up a spot. They remain the same at number 5. Number 10, Bremont crashed out of the rankings, and back into the rankings since dropping out is the Seymour Panthers. They get a big win over Quanah to rejoin the rankings at number 10. To the 6-man ranks we go. Knox City moves up to the number 2 spot, vaulting Abbott, again, simply based on the strength of their resume. They have one of the most impressive resumes in the state right now. They beat Rankin 77-32. That vaults them over Abbott to join the number 2 spot in the rankings. Whiteface jumps 3 spots with their win over Anton 60-0. They are now 4-0. Number 10, Spring Lake Earth crashes out. Rankin drops from number 6 to number 10 with their loss to Knox City. But new to the rankings at number 9, how about Aquila? 4-0, winners over a previously unbeaten Sydney. They join the rankings at number 9. To the 1A Division 2 ranks we go. Top 4 are unchanged. Benjamin, Oglesby, Jayton, and Cherokee, all winners. Klondike moves up a spot, as does Richland Springs. Newcastle's narrow loss to Jonesboro drops them from number 5 to number 7. And then we swap number 9 and number 10. Amherst, with their win over Spring Lake Earth, nudges them ahead of number 10, or now number 10, Rochelle, who got a good win over Lomita and is unbeaten, but Amherst's resume is more impressive at the moment. That is your top 10 in 1A Division 2. To the private school ranks we go. We had to do a little bit of reshuffling. We had number 1 versus number 2 last week. Houston St. Thomas got a 10-point win over Austin Regents. We dropped Austin Regents from number 2 to number 5. Dallas Christian moves up a spot. Bel Air Episcopal, really impressive win over Fort Worth Nolan. We vault them 2 spots from number 5 to number 3. Lubbock Christian stays the same at number 4. In the private school 6-man ranks, everyone behaved. 5 teams, all winners. Pasadena First Baptist did win but via forfeit over High Island, but your top 5 unchanged. Pasadena First Baptist, Fort Worth Covenant Classical, Austin Hill Country, Conroe Covenant, and Bastrop Tribe Consolidated. There they are, your Week 5 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press Texas High School Football Rankings. You can find all the rankings at texasfootball.com/rankings. Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at texasfootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out texasfootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at texasfootball.com/subscribe.